rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us in a moment of silence as we reflect on those serving in the United States Armed Services, both past and present, the elected leaders of the state of Pennsylvania, and the elected leaders of our nation. We have much to be thankful for our community. Please be seated. Item 3, executive session announcements. There were 3 executive sessions. One was held on Monday, November 3rd at 6 p.m. at the middle school LGI for a board workshop. Monday, November 10th at 8:20 in the high school library to discuss personnel matters. November 17th at 6:45 in the high school library to discuss personnel and legal matters. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Dr. Christian for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. Item 4.1, Student Government Executive Council President's Report. Zach.
Thank you, Dr. Christian. First at the high school. 13 students will be auditioning for PMEA District 12 Choir on Saturday, November 22nd, 2014. Hundreds of competitors will vie for 20 spots in each voice part: soprano 1, soprano 2, alto 1, alto 2, tenor 1, tenor 2, bass 1, and bass 2. On Thursday, November 13th, Life Skills Community Connection students hosted their annual Thanksgiving celebration. They had over 125 people attend this year, including parents, teachers, buddies, students, and administrators. Students cooked for a week to prepare for this event. The focus of this program is cooking instruction and problem solving while working with a group. Anchor Club has been very busy this fall. They had over 20 volunteers come to the REA Safe Trick or Treat night, and they distributed over 1,000 pieces of candy to the children. They have been collecting toothpaste, toothbrushes, and shampoo to go into shoe boxes to be donated to homeless shelters for men and women in need this holiday season. They also are beginning their In Ian Boots shoe drive, which is a collection for a local nonprofit that sends gently used shoes all over the world to people in need. Anchor Club members have been showing up at elementary school craft fairs, helping out at spaghetti dinners, and making cards for the elderly in retirement homes, and they are just getting started. Now on to the middle school. The middle school celebrated an extremely successful Challenge Day on November 7th. Students worked in their community meeting group on various team building activities and focused on breaking down barriers, supporting each other, and promoting a positive school culture. They will continue to focus on community support with some excellent opportunities to give back. The Tri-M Honors student developed an idea of Pay to Stop the Play by using the song Baby by Justin Bieber. The premise of that activity was to play the song continuously and have students pay to stop the music. The students set a goal of $40 each day with a total of $200 raised by Friday. They hope to top the quickest time to stop the music from last year of 4 minutes. All the money raised will be donated to the Coventry Food Pantry. Now on to East Coventry. East Coventry hosted a breakfast for our veterans on Wednesday, November 12th. Veterans enjoyed a breakfast and assisted with the raising of the school flags. The highlight of the day's events was being able to talk to a parent currently serving in the Air Force in North Korea. The students had an opportunity to Skype with him and ask him questions about the life in the military overseas. This week is American Education Week, so children at East Coventry will enjoy breakfast with their dads and hold parent classroom visits. Now on to East Vincent. For the 5th year, the East Vincent students in grades 1 through 6 have been participating in an in-school turkey trot during recess from November 12th to 19th. The trot is sponsored by the East Vincent Wellness Committee, and the purpose is to celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday and encourage students to get moving and eat healthy. The winning classroom at each grade level will receive an in-school party on November 25th and a turkey trophy to keep in their classroom for the year. In addition, to promote participation, Mr. Turkey will visit throughout the week. Now for French Creek. French Creek honored veterans on Tuesday, November 11th with a special breakfast followed by a school-wide Veterans Day celebration. Third grade students sang patriotic songs, 2 fifth grade students recited poetry, and Mrs. Holmes brought everyone in the room to their feet when she sang God Bless the USA. Students and staff honored each of the veterans and thanked them for the countless sacrifices they had made to protect our freedom. It was a very moving tribute, and feelings of pride and respect flooded the auditorium. For North Coventry, on October 27th, over 100 North Coventry students and their parents attended Batty About Math and Reading Night, hosted by North Coventry Reading and Math Specialists. During the event, students participated in a variety of math and reading activities, facilitated by classroom teachers. In addition, writing celebration medallions as students finished various grade level writing units. And finally, with West Winston, PJ and Andrew Lepore, as well as Pierce, Sabrina, Sophie, and Trey Marks, spent their day off on November 4th, cleaning up a community job site. The money they earned was donated to their youth pastor's family. The pastor's 3-year-old son was recently diagnosed with pediatric cancer. The Lepores are in the process of creating a website to help with other contributions. Third graders collected over $720 for UNICEF through the Trick or Treat for UNICEF campaign. They did an outstanding job, and we are very proud of their efforts. This concludes my report. Thank you, Dr. Christian.
Thank you, Zach. Item 4.2, student recognition. If I could ask Dr. Marchini to come forward. We have several student athletes to recognize this evening, including our golfer, our girls country team, and our boys soccer team, and tennis team. Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Dr. Marchini.
Thanks. I'd like to first introduce Coach Kirby for golf. Coach Kirby was nice enough to join us tonight. Just came from basketball tryouts. Mr. Kirby.
Thank you, Dr. Martini, members of the board. I apologize for my attire, but as Dr. Martini said, I literally just ran down the hall. Here tonight, pleased to recognize Maddie Sager, who was on the golf team this year. She had an exceptional postseason run that saw her capture her second individual Pac-10 championship. She went on to districts then, where she placed 6th, which was good enough to qualify her for the Eastern Regional. At the Eastern Regional, she placed 3rd, which was the whole eastern part of the state. And then that qualified her for the state championship, which was in York. And in the state championship, she finished 7th in the state. So quite a run for Maddie. She's only a junior, so she'll be back next year. And maybe we can improve on those impressive numbers. And one quick thing, we don't have a girls team here, so she plays on the boys team. And she actually achieved first team all conference on the boys team. So again, just a remarkable season for a remarkable golfer and even a better person. So Maddie Sager.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Coach Steyer for the tennis team.
Thank you, Dr. Marchini. Thank you to the board. Just briefly, I first saw Meredith Lee play tennis when she was 9 years old in Philadelphia. The tournament she was playing against high school age students, and just playing her heart out down there. She was dehydrated. She just kept working and working and working. And to this day, she still has that great work ethic. This year, she had a 13-2 record overall with the team. She finished 3rd in second in the league. Finished 2nd in the league, had 3rd in the districts, and 4th in the states. I can't believe we're halfway through her career. It's just amazing. She works, and I got to give a lot of credit to her parents for the support and everything they do for her to let her do what she's capable of doing. Mayor Fleet.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Coach Michaels and Coach Marco for cross country.
Thank you, Dr. McKee, board members. This year, our girls cross-country team continued their run, and they won their third consecutive Pac-10 title, which we're very, very proud of, especially since only three of the girls had been on the previous championship team, and only one girl has been on all three. So it's a very good feeling to have these young people come out and develop and run extremely well. A couple of highlights before I call the girls up is we had 6 girls out of 15 all Pac-10 selections. 6 out of 15. That's a pretty high percentage. They were also ranked on Penn Track and cross country as the 10th ranked team in the state according to times they ran. And we also had one state qualifier on that team, 9th grade young lady, Alex Glazier. And she finished in the top 50 in the state championship. Actually, she was 31st. And had a great race. If the girls would come up, please. Sam Garvey, Andrea Shea, Allie Brisbane, Rowan Donnelly, Angela Pfizer, Emma Hagan, Emily Hansel, Izzy Ravato, Josie Fernaro, Alex Glazier. This is a cross-section of our girls. We had 24 on the team. We have 10 here tonight. Also, we had a very, very successful boys season. The boys were 7-2. And we had, the boys actually had 2 state qualifiers. Unfortunately, only one could be here tonight. We had a freshman, Liam Conway, who was 27th in districts, finished in the top 100 in the state. Liam also has on the board the top freshman time in the state for 5K. Special thanks to Coach Marco for all his hard work, and he's in the building, I'm not. I used to be in the building, but I was part of it a couple years ago. So these young ladies and this young gentleman, great season. Congratulate them. Awesome job.
Thank you, Coach Michaels. And finally, I'd like to introduce Coach Wenzel and staff for boys soccer.
First of all, I want to thank Dr. Christian and the school board for having us tonight. We had a great year. We were 12-6 overall, 10-3 in the league. In the Pac-10 Final Four semis, we defeated Phoenixville 3-0. And then an exciting Pac-10 final, we beat Boyertown 2-1. In district play, we lost to Great Valley 3-1. Had them on the ropes in the first half. We were leading 1-0, and Great Valley just lost in the state final. So at the time, we thought, and then they went to the state final. So not too shabby of a loss there. As a great team, they're great kids. Probably even, they're probably better kids and better students than they are soccer players, and they're excellent soccer players. And it was definitely a privilege to coach them. I wanted to personally thank the administration, Mr. Brett, Mr. Strock, Mrs. Faust, the trainers, Mrs. Hoffecker, and Mr. Brewer. I want to thank the Roberts Athletic Association for getting us our warm-up t-shirts. I certainly want to thank the parents for running them all over. Sometimes we practice at 2:30, sometimes we practice at 5. So I want to thank the parents for their flexibility. I want to thank Gabe Servant for taping all of our games and putting them on huddle. And lastly, I want to thank our three managers, Carrie Huzzard, Sarah Butts, and Anna Lavelle. They did a great job keeping our stats all season. And probably the two most important people here, Coach Brown and Coach Youngblood, two great assistant coaches. I certainly wouldn't have done it without them. They are excellent coaches, excellent people. Coach Youngblood coaches our JV team. JV team had a great year, 13-2-2, and Coach Brown's my assistant coach, and he's a great coach and a great person. And obviously, we wouldn't have the season we had without those two. So at this time, I want to call the team up here, get your certificates. First, we have Brian Brady, Stephen Brady, Jared Cooney, Dan Damer, Bruce Dowling, Alex Fonder, Matt Hansen, Ben Huzzard, Alex Jenian, Austin Corey, Torian Lee, Jason Long, Devin Murray, Brandon Ott, Quinn Poley, Matt Prawn, Nate Raban, Doug Spay, Matt Servin, Zach Servin, Andrew Luciana, Nate Smith, and Nolan Smith. We also had 9 seniors on the roster. The 9 seniors on the roster played on the 2011 championship team. They were freshmen then, so it was nice to see them get a championship their senior year. And we have a lot of young players as well that played. So hopefully we can be back at this point next year. That would certainly be our goal. And again, I want to thank everybody for having us. Like I said, I'm honored to coach. It's a great group of men. And they're great kids, great students. They do a lot of things in the community and the classroom. They're good students. So thanks again for having us. I really appreciate it.
At this time, I'd like to invite all of our student athletes and their families who come here this evening to go outside with Dr. Martini and Mr. Direckin so that we can get team photos. Congratulations to all of you. Item 4.3, Superintendent's Report. This week we celebrate American Education Week. With an opportunity for parents to visit their child's classroom. Additional information can be found on the LJ website. We also have parent-teacher conferences that are scheduled for November 24th and 25th. Students have half days. AM kindergarten students will report to school on November 24th, and PM kindergarten students will report to school on November 25th. There will be no school from Wednesday, November 26th through Friday, November 28th for the Thanksgiving holiday. We also have a holiday concert series rapidly approaching. All details, times, and events related to our concerts can be found on the district website. And finally, the annual Senior Citizen Holiday Concert and Tea is scheduled for Monday, December 15th at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Additional information can be found on our website. Thank you, Mr. Freeze. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Christian. Moving on to item number 5, public comment on agenda items. Information, proposals, and statements from individuals or delegations pertaining to items on the agenda. Speakers are to indicate your name, township of residence, and the item or items on the agenda to which your comments are or address. Speakers will be limited to not more than 3 minutes. Seeing there's none, moving on to board committee reports. There was a committee of the whole meeting. That meeting was held on November 10th at 6 p.m. at the high school LGI. The following committees met at that time: Buildings and Grounds, Curriculum and Instruction, and Legislative and Policy. Buildings and Grounds Committee, Mr. Kleinfeld.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. The Buildings and Grounds Committee met as part of the Committee of the Whole on Monday, November 10, 2014, 6 p.m. in the high school LGI run. We received an update from MM Architects on 3 final options for the construction at East Coventry and East Vincent facility improvement projects. The committee is recommending option 5, which is the replacement of East Vincent and East Coventry facilities. The recommendation is on the agenda tonight for board approval. The next Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 5th, 2015 at 6 p.m. in the Administration Building Boardroom. That concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. Priest.
Thank you, Mr. Kleinfeld. Moving on to 6.3, Chester County Intermediate Unit, Mrs. Vargas.
I do not have a report at this time because our meeting takes place this Wednesday, November 19th at 8 p.m. at the Blue Road location. So I will be reporting during our December board.
Thank you, Mrs. Vargas. Item 6.4, Curriculum and Instruction Committee, Mrs. Vargas.
The Curriculum and Instruction Committee met as part of the Committee of the Whole meeting on November 10th. There were 2 presentations for the meeting. Kirk Willard and Frank McKnight from the CCIU shared information about the available programs at the Technical College High School at Pickering. 2 OJR students who participated in the TCHS programs also spoke during the meeting. They shared their experiences about allied health and the sustainable energy and electronics program. Mr. Willard also reviewed some of the renovation plans for the Pickering School building. Dr. Markey outlined the proposed changes to the high school program and studies for next year. These include title changes for some courses, hybrid courses, and a new English course, Literature for Success, and a new preschool lab experience course. There was some discussion about the proposed STEAM pathways, and the administration has scheduled another curriculum committee meeting on December 2nd at 6 p.m. in the administration boardroom so that we can talk more about that proposed program. And I want to remind the board that everyone's welcome. And if you have specific questions before the meeting, I ask you to submit them directly to Dr. Suter so that they can be prepared with what we're looking for. On the in-service day earlier this month, our teachers were involved in a variety of professional development activities. These included data meetings, a review of eligible content for this year's PSSA and Keystone test, and a content-specific professional development. Many of our teachers participated in the countywide in-service day sponsored by the CCIU. Teachers from every district in Chester County have the opportunity to attend these content-specific sessions. This provided time for collaboration with teachers outside of our own district. As I said before, the next Curriculum and Instruction Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, December 2nd at 6 p.m. in the boardroom of the administration building. And that concludes our report.
Thank you, Mrs. Vargas. Moving on to the Finance Committee, Mr. Stroh.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. There is no Finance Committee report this evening. However, I would like to remind the board that the next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 5th at 7:30 p.m. in the administration building. Thank you, Mr. Freeze.
Thank you, Mr. Stroh. Moving on to the Legislative and Policy Committee, Mr. Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. The Legislative and Policy Committee met as part of the Committee of the Whole meeting on November 10th to review the 2014-2015 proposed school calendar. We also met as an individual meeting that evening on November 10th to review batch policies, which are item 7.10 on the agenda this evening. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Moving on to 6.7, Personnel Committee, Mr. Wilkoff.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze, for this report.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkoff. Moving on to item 7, 7.1, a motion to approve recommended routine matters. These are consent items 7.2 through 7.11. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. McCall. Second by Mr. Lulu. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, approval of routine matters. Moved by Mr. Kleinfelter. Second by Mr. McCall. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Board communication, is there any board communication at this time, Mrs. Carmine?
Mr. President, I have not received any board communications. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Carmine. Item 10, board discussion. Is there any board discussion at this time?
I would like to address the board on the opportunity we have for those of us who attend the SBA conference for professional development for board members. It was very good, very interesting. Those of us who were there, either for the entire time or for a day or two, we got to participate in workshops involving well, number one, we also worked on the policy for the PSBA. Mr. Kleinfeld and myself were delegates to the policy approval changes for this year. I sat in on discussion on reporting of all necessary matters that the district has to report on to the state. New laws have been passed on that. But overall, all the information is very helpful. It's very interesting to speak with board members from across the state and be able to exchange ideas, failures and successes. It's just a very good opportunity, and I would hope in the future we'd be able to do this together. Some groups actually come to the board, and that's a very good interaction. And there are many great things to also witness as far as all of the different companies that are there presenting new products and new technology that works for schools. So I would implore enormously to be able to enjoy that together. It's a very good learning experience. It was very tiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Drew.
Mr. President, I might add just a couple of items to Ms. Booth's report. One of the sessions I attended was very serious. It was about school security. But probably the most interesting thing was the mock school board meeting. I had the privilege of being president to direct the meeting. It's always one of the highlights of the conference, and it was extremely well attended. The students, I can get the support of the students were great. I thought that. Some nuts and bolts about the conference. Inside, based on so to speak. It was the best attended conference in a number of years. There were, I think, 123 new members of board members who never been to a conference before attended our conference. And we're looking for ways to make it easier for board members to attend, especially working people, rather than have to attend the whole 3 or 4 days to see everything. We'll look at ways that, shorter attendance and still get a meaningful experience out of it. And all in all, as Mrs. Booth said, there's tons of information, too hard for any one person to take in. We need the power of bilocation, in 2 or 3 places at once. So we encourage anyone next time around to think seriously about attending. Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Revolve. Any other board discussion? Moving on to item number 11, old business, seeing that there is none, we'll move on to item 12, new business. Motion to approve personnel matters. These are consent items 12.2 through 12.12. Moved by Mr. McCall, second by Ms. Lulu. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? believe we have someone here. Mr. Staten, would you be so kind to come up front? I have a nice little ratification of retirement resolution for you. Whereas George Staten, as an employee of the O.J. Roberts School District for the past 17 years, has made a significant contribution to the students in the district. And whereas Mr. Staten has given unselfishly of his time, talent, and energies in serving the youth of our community by performing his jobs to the best of his ability. And whereas Mr. Staten has made a great impact upon the O.J. Roberts School District now and in the future. Whereas Mr. Staten, retirement is richly deserved and recognized as one of high honor and distinction. Therefore, be it resolved that the O.J. Roberts School Board of Directors, the administration, and the fellow employees of the O.J. Roberts School District express deep appreciation to Mr. Staten for 17 years of loyal service and wish him good health and continued success in future endeavors. Be it further resolved that the 18th day of November 2014 be officially declared George Staten Day in the O.J. Roberts School District, adopted by the Board of School Directors of O.J. Roberts on the 17th day of November. Thanks, Big Bill.
I just have one comment for George. George, I just have one comment. Watch that nobody runs over your feet. That's an insight.
Thank you. Just want to say, I've actually been here 40 years with my part-time years, and it's been great. I'm going to miss his place. Wait there a second. Have a good day. Thank you.
You should have named it Big Blue Day. Moving on to item 13, new business, approval, 13.1, approval to delete policy. Moved by Mr. Hughes. Second by Mrs. Vargas. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.2, ratification of homebound instruction.
Second.
Moved by Mr. McCall, second by Mr. Stone. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.3, approval of student activity clubs and organizations.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Vargas, second by Mr. Stone. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.4, approval of out-of-state/overnight student trips. Moved by Mr. McCall. Second by Mr. Kleinfelter. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.5, approval of high school program studies for 2015-2016. Moved by Mrs. Vargas. Second by Mr. McCall. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.6, approval to proceed with MM Architects proposed option 5, new construction at both East Vincent and East Coventry Elementary Schools. Moved by Mrs. DeLuca, second by Mr. Kleinfelter. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.7, approval of confidential in lieu of FAPE agreement. Moved by Mr. Hughes, second by Mrs. Booth. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.8, approval of conference attendance. Moved by Mr. Stone, second by Mr. McCall. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.9, approval to file assessment appeals.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. McCollum.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Vargas. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.10, approval of professional services and/or maintenance agreement. Moved by Mr. Kleinfelder. Second by Mr. Stone. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 14, public comment. Information, proposals, statements, and/or questions from individuals or delegations pertaining to any item. Speakers are to indicate their name or township of residence. Speakers will be limited to not more than 3 minutes. Seeing if there's none, moving on to item 15.1, board request for information. Seeing that there's none, moving on to item 16.1, adjournment. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. McCollum. Second by Mr. Kleinfelder. The meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you all for coming tonight.